Welcome everyone. This is Amenti, the Awakened Amenti, the Oracle, joining you live and direct. It's very smoky in here because I'm in my prayer room and I have just been burning some incense. And I wanted to basically do this video in response to what took place 2 days ago with the assassination of our brother George Floyd. And what this really means for us as a people. A lot of people have been messaging me, a lot of people have been feeling a bit triggered by the situation, and so it's my intention in this live to share some information with you that will help you to feel empowered and to understand a bit more of what is going on, and for us to really start to get proactive about these situations. These things that are taking place are deliberately set to trigger our emotional and mental bodies, our reaction, and also to activate a feeling of powerlessness within us. We are in the midst of a shift and we are in the midst of an awakening, and so we have to learn to take control over all aspects of ourselves, mind, body and spirit. There has been a discourse that has been projected to us, especially as of those people, the original children of the earth, those who are from the melanated communities. There has been a deliberate agenda of dehumanization that has been that we have been subjected to on a collective level and on a spiritual level. And so as we move into this awakening, we're being called to release the shackles of the mind, body and the spirit so that we can really truly come from our place of sovereignty and learn the lessons that we need to learn at this time. All right, so first and foremost, I just want to say a prayer for those who have lost any loved ones, those who have experienced any, lost ones and people leaving, people dying. I want to just say a prayer because regardless of where we are on this journey, we understand that all life is sacred. And the minute that we start to become desensitized to honoring life and celebrating life is the minute that we become, that we cease to be human. It is our purpose to come into this physical body and to have experiences, to build connections with each other as well. And so when one leaves the earthly plane, it is also a natural custom to want to honor that life as it transitions. It's a natural custom for us to want to hold sacred space for that life that has experienced and has existed. So as much as we are on one level trying not to get too ingrained in the idea of death, it is encouraged that we do honor our loved ones and do celebrate them and honor their transitions. So I just want to just spend a moment just in prayer, honoring those who have departed and honoring those who are making their transitions and thanking them for their lessons and their purpose of being and their light on this earth. All right, so I'm just going to just take a deep breath wherever you are. That's it. Calling your guides, calling your ancestors, calling those who love you unconditionally, and just open your heart in prayer. Divine creator of all there is, ancestors, guides, beings of light, those who love us unconditionally, Mother, Father, God. We come in humble, heartfelt prayer this day, first and foremost to give thanks for the gift of life, for the gift of breath, for the gift of our beautiful bodies that house our spirit. We give thanks for food and shelter and comfort. We give thanks for love. Divine creator, I come to you today to exalt and uphold the life of all those who are transitioning at this time. We understand that as we move through this shift, there are ones and ones who are making way for the new that is to come. We understand that you have also identified sovereign souls who are beacons of light, and as they transition, they awaken something within all of us. I want you to raise up the soul of brother George Floyd and all of our brothers and sisters who have been used as to this moment of understanding the power of life, the sanctity of life. We understand what's time, and what is required of us is to remove the shackles from our mind, to remove the shackles from our feet, to remove the ache from our heart, and tap into the infinite power that we are. Each one of us has chosen to manifest in these beautiful, beautiful bodies in this time. Help us to understand what our mission is collectively. We ask that you comfort and nurture those who grieve. Help them to understand that there is no death, there is only transformation of energy. Help them to understand that in the reverence and in the memories of their loved ones, they uphold them, they keep them alive, they keep them safe. Help them in their ways to be closer to those who have transitioned. Help them to know that there is no separation in this life, and that those who have transitioned have done so to be a beacon of light for all of us at this time. Divine Creator, I ask that you bless our minds with the ability to detach from the trauma and really step into our power. We ask that you open our ears so that we can hear the truth. I ask that you open our hearts so that we can feel comfort within. And I ask that you open our third eyes and encourage us to inquire within, because we know that that's where the true power lies. We ask that you untether the hooks on our mouth and unchain us from the fear that binds us and stops us from standing out for each other, standing up for each other. We call on our ancestors, those who endured all of the oppressions of the past. We ask that you enter into our spines and strengthen our backbone so that we can stand in our power. We ask that you clear all of the negative memories from our minds which project to us this helplessness, and instill us with the minds of our ancestors, with the visions and images of our ancestors, of Shango and Ogun, to show the strength and the power that is within us. Help us to activate our feet so that we move, and help us to allow ourselves to be in a space of love, because we know that love does what is right, and love has no fear, and love stands up for what is truthful. Help us to feel the power, Divine Creator. Help us to feel the power that is within us so that we can really, really and truly activate our divine purpose for being here at this time. Help us to remember who we are, Divine Creator, and I ask that you bless the hearts and minds of all of us in this time who are weary. Bless the hearts and the minds of all of us who are feeling alone, who are unsure. Invite us into your sacred chamber. Help guide us into our sacred space hidden within, so that we can find the knowledge, find the wisdom, hear the truth, and understand what is taking place before our eyes. Divine Creator, I ask that you whisper sweetly into the ears and hearts of those who need your comfort at this time, and help them to know that all is well. In the name of divine love, divine power, and divine wisdom, we give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks. Amen, amen, amen. Ashe. Sending you so much love, people. The altar is lit, the candle is lit, the ancestors are present, and I just wanted to share with you some of the information and insight that I'm getting about what's taking place at this time, and where we need to really be placing our power. Last night, before I went to bed, I prayed and I asked the Most High to show me what it is that we're here to learn. What is it that we need to know right now? Because as a spirit having a human experience, I know fully that we are greater than we are within these bodies, that we have come here to do much greater works than we even know that than our mind can conceive. But it can be very destabilizing when we're constantly seeing images projected in our reality that seek to trigger us. And so I ask God, to wrap us up in the love and the mercy, to help us to really understand what it is that we are here to do, right? I am somebody, whenever things happen in my life, I look at things objectively. I always ask, what is it that I'm learning here? What is it that I'm supposed to do here? Because we are souls having a human experience, and to be conscious, to be aware, doesn't just mean to have all of this knowledge stored in your head. It means to be able to have the tools to be able to discern, to look beyond what is being projected at you, and to be aware, to bring awareness to whatever it is that we're experiencing or going through. And when you understand the nature of being a spirit having a human experience, you realize that you choose every single thing. You choose the right time to come in. You choose the right body. You choose the right race. You choose the right ancestral lineage. You even choose the right family with all of the trauma and stuff that you need in order for you to come here and live your purpose, for you to learn your lessons. Your soul is so powerful that it's been here before. There are many souls that are embodied at this time who have been here on this earth before. They've been been here when we've gone through these atrocities. They've been here and been through the ascensions. They've been here and been through the hardship, and they've triumphed. And so their wisdom, that soul knowledge, that soul wisdom is now allowed to reincarnate again, to be present at this time. So when I look at what's taking place on our planet, I ask myself, why did I choose to come into this physical body? Why did I choose to come from this ancestral lineage? Why did I choose this? Why did I choose to go through the experiences that I chose to go through? What is it that I am here to bring to this ancestral pool? What is it that I'm here to bring to this reality? And I've always known that our purpose of being, especially being in these melanated bodies, is to exalt. It's to exalt it. It is to exalt the experience. It is to be a part. See, Ashe. It's a time to be a part of the change. Okay, and certain things have taken place throughout history that have been part of our learning. We have gone through the highs where we learn, where we have experienced ourselves in our higher states of consciousness, where we're able to make pyramids, where we're able to biolocate, where we're able to have telepathy. And we've also experienced the lowest parts of what it means to be human. We have been, slaves. We have been in our lower self, and we've had that experience in order to teach us certain things. We're all here teaching, experiencing, and evolving. We are on the apex of a new paradigm. We are on the apex of a new reality, a new cycle, a cycle which will see us now experiencing another upturn in our experience, where we're coming into what's called the golden age. But in order for us to ascend, we have to let go of anything that stops us from seeing ourselves as we truly are. We have to let go of anything that stops us from vibrating at the frequency of our God self. And so for this past cycle that we have been through, our people have been subjugated. Our people have been tested. Our people have been through so much. And in order for us to consolidate those lessons and to create a new reality for ourselves, we have to become aware. We have to become aware of the imbalances. We have to become aware of where we have given away our power, and we have to become aware of what lessons still need to be learned in order for us to stand on our square. When I look at what is taking place in our reality, I look at it from an objective perspective. We cannot allow ourselves to be triggered, because whoever controls your mind and your body controls your reality. And if you realize it, there has been a systematic agenda of producing content and images of black people, original people, melanated people in a powerless position. And what happens when you continue to see yourself in a powerless position, you start to believe that you are powerless. You start to act as if you are powerless. Our power does not come from the physical reality. Our power comes from the source. Our power comes from the spiritual realm. Our power comes from when we go into those hidden parts of ourselves and we observe this experience from that position of power. The images that are being projected to us right now are there to bring us to a space of powerlessness, but it's also helping us to see what on the collective level, the collective consciousness needs to be understood and embodied, okay? Because we are not a powerless people, but what is happening is that we are allowing this image to be perpetually projected onto us, and then we see it as ourselves. When you see these images of our people being slain, especially from everybody I've been speaking to, everybody has been feeling like, well, what is it that we can do? Why is it that we have no support? It feels like we can do nothing. And we're learning to step into our power again. So as we learn to step in our power, we have to understand where our power lies. And part of the agenda to disconnect us from our true source of power was to take away our spirituality. And your spirituality is your way to be able to connect to and harness those forces of power, those forces of nature. When you look at religion and spirituality, it is informed by the culture. So whichever culture is creating that religion, they're creating it as a way of empowering and deifying themselves, right? So that when you look to your religion and when you look to your spirituality, you gain strength, you gain power. Whereas when we look to our spirituality, we gain subconscious images of suppression, because the same energy that we are looking for to exalt us is the same energy that is so-called suppressing us. So on a spiritual and a mental level, it can leave you in a powerless state. Also, when you start to see your brothers and sisters continuously slain over and over and over and over again, it it puts you through a process of rebirthing the trauma. Every time you rebirth that trauma, it's almost as if you bring that pain into this present moment. And what happens on a physiological and neurological level is that that synapse in the brain, that pathway in the brain that was connected to that experience, now becomes active. And what happens now is that your physical body now starts to respond to that trauma. You can't sleep, you feel anxious, and now you are back in that position. It brings up all of the feelings for you that you felt in that position and in other positions where you have felt powerless, where you have felt unable to help yourself. And what it does in that moment is it puts you back into that space of powerlessness, right? Spirituality gives us power. Now, I'm not trying to just say that the spiritual realm is the only way in which we need to get our power, because it's not, but it is the main way. Because if you understand it like this, we're living in a reality that is 5% of our consciousness. Everything that we see in this reality is first designed in spirit. It's first designed in the thought. Even if it's the thought of somebody that wants to control you, they have to first create that reality in your mind and in their mind. So number one, you have to keep your mind sacred. You have to be in control of what is being impregnated in your mind, so that you're not reacting to those old traumas, those old pains. What this has brought up is an understanding that we as a people are still very much suffering from this collective trauma. And every time this powerless behavior is being projected to us, it causes a wave. It causes a wave of anxiety. It causes a wave of powerlessness. And because we feel powerlessness, we seek to protest, we seek to fight, we seek to argue, we seek to try and fight against something. And in the end, we end up allowing ourselves to be judged by that same something, because that something is not real. It's an illusion. It's informing you of what needs to take place. It's informing you of what is not balanced and what needs to you have your attention brought to it, right? So I personally am not somebody that tries to give too much attention to so-called negativity. But however, everything in reality has positive and negativity. There is no separation, because in order for you to grow, in order for you to expand, you need resistance. You need something that's going to make you fight. That's going to make something that's going to make you want change. And so sometimes those negative or seemingly negative situations are there to trigger you. So then at that point you have a choice. Do you empower yourself? Do you evolve yourself and empower yourself? Or do you continue to go around in the same circle, repeating the same behavior? Because if that becomes your choice, then every time somebody sends out that signal of that trauma, they can affect and destabilize and debilitate you straight away. When we look at what's happening, we're constantly seeing videos of people being abused, right? We're seeing people being abused, but we're also seeing people holding up phones, filming. I mean, I'm sure even when you watch it, you think to yourself, oh, I would do something. I want to do something. But at the same time, if you were there, would you be able to do that something? How many of us feel like we want to make that change, but when it comes to it, won't move? Feel our hands are tied, are thinking about all of the things that could go wrong and why we have to protect and preserve our own self before we could even support others. Any secret society, any organization knows that unity is your power and your strength. But this system is set on a premise that we are so divided and so in fear that we will not even stand up to protect each other's lives. We are so in fear of this illusion of false power that has been propagated towards us that we deny the power that we have inside. We deny the power of truth. We deny the power of standing up against injustice and expect things to change. It cannot change unless we have changed within. The thing is about the mind is once you project a reality to it and it latches onto it, especially if that reality is charged with an emotional connection, it can destabilize you. Trauma, when somebody is in a traumatic situation, they freeze. Everything in their being stops. It's almost as if that same energy that they need to free themselves and protect themselves has been, works against them, because it now is causing, the fear is causing them the inability to move. In your mind, you feel as if there is nothing you can do, and so therefore you don't do anything. And this is the problem. This is where the spiritual power gives you the guidance and gives you the support and the energy to move. If all you can do is pray, if all you can do is go into meditation and ask God, show me what it is that I need to see here, then you're moving out of the position of powerlessness into powerfulness. What we have to understand is that the reason how our ancestors were able to do the greatness that they were able to do is because they had that understanding of the importance of spiritual power. We are dealing with things that we cannot see. We're dealing with viruses. We're dealing with systems that we cannot see. But in order for us to be able to now take our stance and fight these invisible wars, they have to be done from the spirit. They have to be done from the mind. And if your mind is now filled with fear of trauma, if your body is now filled with energy of powerlessness, if you're now no longer able to move, then you are not living. You are not living. And we have to wake up, people. We have to understand that we outweigh any threat. The truth will outweigh any threat. But we have to be willing to find that power within ourselves to stand up for the truth. We have to be willing to stand up for something that's more than just our own individual security, because so many of us are being affected by this. It's not happening just over there. And it doesn't matter if you want to live on this love and light bubble, right? It's all affecting all of us. You have to ask yourself, why did you come here? What is your purpose? What is your job? This is the time for us to start doing that work. When I was praying, I was asking the Most High, and I work with a spiritual team called the Ancestral Mothers. These are the ancestral mothers, the creators of this world, this reality. They're connected to some of the most indigenous spiritual practices and religions on this earth, and they're very much connected with nature. Everything happens for a reason, and in order for us to move into this next harmonious stage of the golden age, we have to be willing to stand up against injustices. We have to define how we're going to live as a collective. We have to tap into that spiritual power that we have. You are not the vision of who you see yourself as. You are not the experiences that you have been through. You need to take the opportunity to go into your mind, go into your spirit, and see that powerful version of you. See your ancestors, see Shango, see Ogun, see yourself as powerful in your mind, and that is what will empower you, infuse you with the spirit, the strength, and the power to make changes in this lifetime. This war cannot be fought just in the physical. This is a spiritual war. And what's happened as well through religion and through the slavery and the destabilization of our disconnection to source, even though this is part of our lesson. The age of Pisces is about separation, so we had to learn about separation from the motherland, separation from our ancestors, separation from the source, even though it's all illusion. To go into this next stage, we have to reconnect everything. We have to reconnect our connection to each other. We're moving into a space of oneness. We have to reconnect our connection to the source, to the creator. That's why everybody is trying to go on this spiritual journey right now. We also have to connect to a collective reality that we want to see. This is what the foundation of this reality of the age of Aquarius is about. We've got to be willing to stand up for each other. We've got to be willing to see the powerful selves in ourselves. We have to be willing to step up and step out. When I ask Spirit to show me how I can help our people, how I can be of service, I went through my own meditation, and with my meditations and transmissions, I'm not just going into my mind. I understand that this is everything. This is the womb. This is the this is where everything is created from. So when I go into my subconscious, I am journeying, I am traveling, and I'm seeking the answers for which I am questioning, right? I'm going on a quest. And so I went through a journey, and Spirit showed me that what is needed is power. We need need to understand where our power lies, and the power lies within. We look at our ancestors, we look at the past, and we marvel and we awe, but we do not understand that they live within us, that they are in ourselves, that they are in our being, that we are them. And the only way for us to cultivate that spirit is by going within. So I was guided to go through a meditation. In this meditation, first and foremost, I upgraded all of my chakras. I went through a process of clearing all of my chakras to align with power. Your root chakra is all about your security, about fear, about not being protected. So I went into that space and I allowed my powerful self to amplify me through affirmations, remind me of who it is that I am outside of this. I'm not my experiences, I'm not my stories. I am a powerful force of God. So let me remind myself in this moment. Let me fortify myself in this moment. Let me go into prayer and just meditate and create space to receive. Right? In my meditations, I was given a staff. This staff was called the Sekhem staff, which represents power. As I held this staff, I felt the power within me. I felt that power within me. My spirit guides are jaguars and lions and butterflies. And so my jaguar spirit guides came in to help clear away the fear, because we have fear, and in your mind you're thinking, oh well, I've got kids and I've got this and I've got that. You call on what it is that you need. You ask for it. You get it. You will receive it. You have to have that faith. You have to have that trust. Another thing that Spirit showed me to do was to reframe the experience. So I had in my mind the picture of our brother George Floyd, and I will continue to say his name because we will not sit here and be silent. We have to speak. The whole world's mouth is covered because they want to keep this deception going. We have to speak. So his name is George Floyd, and I'm going to speak his name. When I saw the picture, the images of him with this man's knee on his neck, when I saw that in my mind, it filled me with rage. It filled me with anger. When I saw the people standing around watching, I was like, what's wrong with us? But what Spirit said to me to do is that's not helpful for me to be in that space, because now I'm going to want to act. And the action that I'm going to want to do is not within, it's outside. I'm going to want to hurt someone. I'm going to want to protest. I'm going to want to do something. But I'm not channeling that energy within. So I asked Spirit, okay, what is it? Show me where I need to go. And Spirit showed me to reframe the experience. What would I like to see? What would I like to see? And what I saw in my vision was this man on the floor and people putting their phones down and them coming together, right? And whether we had to pull the policeman off, whether we had to collectively just put our energies together, what I actually saw was all of us holding hands together. All of us decided to hold hands, and we used our voice and we said, no, we don't allow this. No, we don't allow this. And we used our voices and our minds, and the man had to listen. We called on the power of the ancestors, and his knee had to lift off of that throat. Now, that's what I had to see, because that is a reality. There is a reality of change. There is a reality where we do have power, but you have to be willing to see it. You have to look for it. You have to be willing to identify it in your mind. You've got to be willing to go within. Because if all that you see inside of you is powerlessness, that's exactly what you're going to feel like is all that is available to you, right? So in that vision, in that meditation, I chose to see something different. I chose to see what it was like when we actually stood up for each other. And as much as we were all afraid of the policeman, we realized that if each one of us was willing to stand up, if each one of us was willing to say that we don't consent, then it would happen. Then he would have to. Do you understand what I mean? Because when it comes, when we make an affirmation and an intention and we speak it with our heart and with our mind, like there is no prayer that goes unanswered. And I understand that many of us have had our spiritual eye, confused and configured because of religion and spirituality and all of these things. And that was a deliberate agenda. But what I'm trying to say to you is, within you is a simple power. And that's the simple power to ask questions, the simple power to speak your truth, the simple power to ask for change. If each one of us chooses to focus focus on that power, not just focusing on whether if I stand up, then I'm going to be the only one and I'm going to be alone and I'm going to be defenseless. There are so many of our ancestors who have been through so much worse than this. When we look at Harriet Tubman, and we look at women and men, people who have had to stand out and say, do you know what, as much as this is the system and this is the way and I could lose my life, I fight for freedom. I'm fighting for justice. There is a way, there is a chance. If we don't believe in ourselves, if we don't choose to be that active principle of change, we're not going to see anything. We're not going to see the change that we want to see. And believe me when I tell you this is not happening so that we get used to our people being slain. It's happening so that we will wake up and understand where our true power lies. This is not just about black people. This is not just about what's happening to our community. This is about the world. What kind of world do we want to live in? What kind of discourse do we have that we live by? Is it okay for some people to it? No, it's not okay, because we are all as strong as our weakest link, and the first shall be last and the last shall be first. What are we learning from these experiences? What are we learning from this lesson? Trauma is something that if it's not dealt with, if it's not reframed, if it's not understood, it is like the Achilles heel in your journey. We have all gone through this process so that we would learn to understand and value the sanctity of life. All life, but all life came from the seed. And so if the seed is not nurtured, if the seed is not protected, then obviously what comes from the seed is going to be genetically modified. It's not going to be fit for purpose, right? So we have to start going back in. We have to not see ourselves as powerless, but see ourselves as powerful. We have to go into our minds and reframe those experiences. We have to understand that our realities are tied, that the whole lesson that we're here to experience is that we are all connected. We are all connected in mind, we're all connected in heart, we're all connected in body. And when I look at our people, I look at the fact that the trauma has rendered us immobile. I see us wanting change so much, but with feet that are chained and hands that are chained and a mind that is chained, and you have to liberate yourself. It's not going to come from anyone else. I can't give you a promise. All I can say is that I am going to be part of the change. All I can say is that I'm going to use my voice. All I can say is that I'm going to be there for my brother or my sister. That's all I can do. But it's enough. It is enough. So when I ask Spirit, what is it that we need to do right now? We need to understand where the source of power comes from. And power does not come from outside of you. It comes from inside of you. So we need to go within and seek the power. I'm going to record a guided meditation, which is going to help you to start seeing your powerful self. It's going to start helping you to break down that trauma and alchemize the trauma. Alchemize the trauma into power. Alchemize the trauma into understanding. Alchemize that trauma into a new discourse of how we live amongst each other. So that's the first thing. Number two, Brother George Floyd's 9 Nights is going to be next week, Thursday. Thursday represents justice. Thursday is the day of High John the Conqueror. It's the day of Obatala. It is the day of justice. So what I am suggesting, and you can do this in any way, shape or form, any way that you choose. I myself will be hosting a gathering online and as well as in the community, so that we can offer prayers and raise the vibration of all of those who have transitioned. We have to call in our ancestral forces, our ancestral power, because how I know what I know, how I know who I am is from that space. It's not from this reality, right? So we have to learn to call on those powers. I do not care what spiritual domination you come from. We have so many people in our community who are spiritual healers, who are teachers, who will help you to get a car and help you to get a man and help you to do all of this. We need to use this energy collectively for the freedom and redemption of our people. We need to use it for the empowerment of our people. I'm also doing a program called Awakening the Spiritual Warriors. For those of you who want to learn how to utilize your spiritual power, it matters not what denomination that you come from, because we are dealing with source. We're not dealing with deities, we're dealing with source, because a deity is only a personification of the divinity, right? So you are the deity. You are the embodiment of that. While we're sitting down looking at pictures and waiting and wondering, we're not realizing that we are the change, that we have to activate that energy of change within us. So whichever ancestor or spiritual entity you feel connected to, you connect with that power. But the whole purpose is that we have to come together in one sound, one heart, one mind, and fight this battle in the same place where it was started, in the darkness. We are the originals. We are the gods that were warring against each other. We are the ones that were part of creating this conflict that we have been experiencing. So only when we come together, one sound, one heart, one mind, will everything else come together. Just like the babushka doll, it will come together. This is not a time of things being held in the balance. This is not a maybe. This is it is. We are transitioning. We are evolving. We are changing. We are moving into the golden age. We are raising our vibration. This is not some usurp of our ascension. No way. It's just showing us exactly what needs to be changed. Showing us exactly what needs to be understood. And showing us exactly what we can no longer allow moving forward. Unity consciousness is the name for a reason. This is not something that's just some buzzword. How do you get to a position of oneness? Only when you realize that we all feel the same thing. Only when you realize that standing up for one is standing up for all. It's standing up for all. So that's going to be on the 4th of June. The 4th of June is the 9 night for Brother Floyd. So wherever you are, light a candle, have some water, do you know what I mean? And just say a prayer. Say a prayer for his light, say a prayer for all lights. Ask for this binding to be released from humanity as we shift, right? It's already done. Believe me when I say to you, it's already done. Everything that we're seeing right now is just to help us to get consciously understand what's taking place so that we can physically and emotionally clear the trauma, clear the things that are holding us back and move forward. That's the only way it's going to take place. That's the only way it's going to happen. So next week, whatever community you are, whoever you worship, whatever you praise, I would like you in your sacred space to just light a candle, to just ask for peace, to just ask for healing, to just ask for the upliftment of our people, to just ask for that energy to come into the planet. Ask for the strength, ask for the power, ask for the wisdom, ask for the love, ask for the compassion. Ask for these things. Hold sacred space, because what you think is not having an effect, that's the most powerful space. When you go into your prayers, when you speak a pure prayer from your heart, that is where the power lies. The power does not lie in this reality. Through my work, through my journey, through my experience, I know the power does not lie in this reality. The power lies within, right? You are not powerless. You've just forgotten where your power lies. Okay, so that's the first thing that we need to do. Next week, Thursday, is the 9/9 of Brother George Floyd. We need to, in our own sacred spaces, in your own way. This is not no mass global meditation with any negative agenda or anything can hijack it. Our intentions are enough. Energy can only be directed through intention. So once you direct your intention of what it is that you want, it doesn't matter what other people think, it doesn't matter what agenda they want to put on it. What matters is your intention. Okay, say a prayer, lick a drum, raise some energy, call on that spiritual power, because as I said to you before, this is the way our ancestors were able to protect and preserve our legacy, through the spiritual of power. Right? Spiritual power. Anthony says the 4th of June, bring your powers. Yes, the 4th of June, bring your powers, bring your prayers, bring your thanksgiving, bring your Nyabingi, whatever it might be, bring it, right? And then on the 6th of the 6th, which is the Saturday, I shall be leading a cleansing and healing meditation, which is not a meditation, it's actually a soul activation for us to clear the collective trauma and the collective karma so that it can be transformed and transmuted back to where it needs to go, because we've learned that lesson already. We have to now close down that timeline. So as much of us who can connect and do that, that will be great. You do not have to come and be on the live with me either. I'm going to be doing it in Zoom. So if you are interested, just put a thing in the bottom to say, I would like to come to the, just put 6th of the the sick, sixth of the sick. And why that's so important as well is because, as you know, 6 is the number of man, right? 6 is the card, is the base, is our foundation, our physical material foundation, based on the chemistry of it. But the powerful thing about this is the sixth of the sixth, the third 6 is going to be in spirit. So for us doing this energy, doing this work in spirit, we are going to connect the what's happening in the spiritual realms with what's happening with us in the physical realms and bring those energies together. Okay, we are going to clear this karma, we're going to clear this trauma, and we are going to re-empower and activate our souls, because our souls have been here before. Our souls and our DNA is also still reeling from the experiences that are embedded in our DNA, from those experiences getting triggered, right? So now it's time to clear it. Now it is time to clear it because we've learnt that lesson and it's time to move on. Another special date that we've got that's just naturally coming up in the calendar is the 21st of June. This particular summer solstice, balance, right? Balance in the universe, as above, so below. Balance. The soul is balanced. The soul is able to move through, right? So this solstice is also going to be an eclipse, right? An eclipse. So an eclipse is a gateway. It's a gateway to a new reality. It's a gateway. We either choose to repeat the old cycles or we give birth to a new cycle. We meet each other in the apex of time. So the 21st of June is also a very powerful date. So you want to be working through anything that, is stopping you from being into your powerful self, because by the 21st of June, let's get it. It's time to log on. It's time to prepare. It's time to step in to your divine self. It's time to step in your divine purpose. I sang a song to myself yesterday. When I channel energy, I sing and I write. I was just singing, and the singing that was coming out is it's time. It's time. It's time to clear. It's time to heal. This is not our journey anymore. It's not who we are. It doesn't define who we are. It's an experience that we needed to learn from, and now we need to consolidate that learning, and we need to create that space for that growth. Okay, so this is the guidance that I'm getting from the ancestors. This is the guidance I'm getting from spirit and from my soul. And this is the offering that I am suggesting to each and every one of you. It is your job and due diligence to go within, ask your own self, ask spirit. But for those of you who don't know necessarily how to do that, or who feel that this is a message that's aligned for them, then please do get involved. Like, even for me, I'm stepping up and stepping out. Do you know how many times I and ah, and do you know how many things the ancestors tell me that I do not come up here and share because I think about ridicule, or I think about how people think negatively about me? But I had to ask myself yesterday, what the hell am I here for? Am I here to just be a part of this same old? I know I'm not. Am I into spirituality just so that I can help people with individual stuff? No, I'm not. I'm here to raise the vibration of our planet. I'm here to raise the vibration of our lineage. I have been here before, and I'm willing to remember who it is that I am. I'm willing to step up and step out. I don't ever want to have to go through an experience where somebody in my community is standing right before me, and not even just in my community, don't get it twisted, anyone. Yeah, I'm activating that lioness warrior spirit in myself. I'm Libra. I do not like injustice of any sort. I am here to bring that Ma'at energy, but I'm also here to be a part of transforming that discourse. The discourse that has been sold to us that is not us. We are powerful beings, but we fought against each other. We fought against our environment, and we're fighting against ourselves. So it's now time to disconnect from the story, to disconnect from the pain, disconnect from the trauma, and be your most powerful self. Not just for you, not just to help your clients, but for this reality, this world that we are living in, because you came here for something great. It's time to activate that greatness. It's time to step in your power. It's time to say, I can. And don't worry about whether the person next to you is going to stand up or not. Because I'll tell you something, even if the people that you can see aren't willing to stand, know that there is a pantheon standing behind you. Each one of us have come here with a purpose. Each one of us has come here to be a part of this shift and this change. Don't ever allow yourself to feel that you are powerless. Don't you ever allow your mind and your reality to be controlled by something outside of you. Don't you ever forget the power of the Creator that lives in you. Because to give power to anything else outside of you means to deny the spiritual power that is within you, that has got you through everything that you have been through, that has helped guide you through this journey. And so I want to say, on behalf of our ancestral mothers, on behalf of Nana Baluku, on behalf of Oya, on behalf of Oludumare, on behalf of all of the mothers that came before us, on behalf of all of the women who breastfed the children of their oppressors, in the knowing that and in the hope that their milk would go into their blood and go into their consciousness and eventually become something that will spark an uprising in them. This is what needs to take place. Don't be triggered and be disempowered. See what needs to be seen, activate the power in you, and move. Let's go, because this world needs rebuilding. And it's going to take each one of us. It's going to take each and every one of us standing in our power. I'm willing for you. I'm willing to stand up for you. I'm willing to stand up for me. And I'm willing to stand up for the legacy and the children that are going to live in this reality. It's our time now, people. Just keep on seeing that vision of that powerful version of yourself. Not the version of yourself with a policeman's knee on its neck. Not the powerful, not the empowered version of you, which is, which has watched these energies come and suppress your family, your man. No. See yourself from the powerful self that you are. See the self as the God that you are. And let's get it, family, because I know for one, I'm done. I'm done. And I know that anger has no place here. Energy has to be transformed into something positive. Something positive doesn't necessarily mean good or bad. It means something that is functional. Something that is functional. So transform this energy. Utilize it for justice. Utilize it to raise the vibration of yourself. Utilize it to ensure that it never triggers you again. Utilize it to make sure that you are occupying the hold over your mind and of your spirit. Call on your support. Call on the support. Because it's time, people. It's time. I'm done sitting down watching, feeling like there's nothing that we can do. There's a lot we can do, but are we willing? Are we willing? No, Lotus Anaya says, destroy in order to rebuild. Yes, because we were destroyed in order for this disempowered person to be rebuilt on top of the strength that we were. So we have to break it all down. But remember what I said to you, because this is not about going into a space of anger or none of that stuff. Everything happens for a reason. Everything is divinely aligned. Everything is working for you. Ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me? What am I no longer willing to accept from myself and my reality? And what am I willing to do to bring change? Because all of us have a part in rebuilding this new reality. All of us are included in this. There is no stone left unturned. Patricia says, I am willing. We have to be willing. We have to be. We can't keep talking. We talk and we talk and we talk. But really, when you're talking, you can feel like your feet are chained. You're talking, but your hands, they feel like they cannot do what they need to do. You're afraid. And it's okay. That fear has been projected onto you. It's been ingrained in you. But guess what? It's not yours. So you can give it back. Inside of you is a lioness. Inside of you is a lion. Inside of you is a dragon. Inside of you is the most powerful forces. You can transform into anything that you want to be. Inside of you. Don't allow this reality, which is an illusion, to define who you are inside. And where the true source of your power lies. Okay? They've confused us. We've been confused. Some people don't even know how to pray. Because you've got this whole system of whatever it is confusing you. You can't see your connection with the Creator. as I said before, the culture informs the religion, and the religion deifies the people within the culture. So if you can't see yourself in that deified position, of course you're going to feel like nobody's there to support you, like you have no power. And if your only sense of ancestral connection has been demonized, then of course you're going to feel like you have no power. But we are the change. We are the ones that are here to bring the change. We are here to transform it all. And it's going to take us being willing to step up and step out and do the work. No more can we just sit back. No more can we just sit back. Are you willing to be a part of the change? Yishba says it's the collective alignment that will shift the paradigm and the tectonic plate in our favor. Exactly. And it doesn't take us having to go out and do anything. I was saying this to Sister Danny. Everything we are connected with, everything. I'm speaking to you and you're feeling me. You're feeling my energy because we are connected. If I was to sit here and focus my energy on you, you would feel me. I woke up this morning hearing people talking about me, only to go online to find that there was a discussion in which my name was being raised. So we are being introduced to another paradigm of living as we speak, but it's going to require us to shift. A shift comes when you're no longer to accept the current space in where you are in. Things become uncomfortable exactly at that point of expansion. We're uncomfortable now. We've had enough. We need to be greater. We need to do more. Call on that spiritual power. Call on it. I can feel some people's disbelief in it. Call on it. Call on it, because you are more than this flesh. And so you have to allow yourself to be able to connect to what powers you. Whenever I see anything going on in this realm, I don't respond to it, or I don't react to it. I respond by going inside. I respond by sitting down and meditating and saying, Spirit, show me what I need to know here. People who come to me for support, I teach them the same process, because that's where the power lies. It's inside. You've got to trust yourself enough, and things happen to trigger us so that we're no longer willing to accept it. If we couldn't sleep last night, it was because Spirit was trying to let us know this is something that cannot be avoided. Do not scroll past. Act. Do something. Even if it's just in your mind, even if it's just you recreating a new reality in your mind. Because right now we're all recreating the same reality because of what we've seen. And what is in our mind becomes our reality. So use your power. Recreate a different reality. See our brothers and sisters going through that and getting the support. See us speaking to the police or whoever it is, and see them yielding to the force of our words. See them yielding to the force of truth and compassion and what is right. Because you see love, you see truth, there is no in and in. There ain't no other way about it. Once it is true, and that is it. And we stand for truth. Truth knows no color. It knows no separation. It is what it is. And we say we love each other. Well, love is protective. Love does what is right. Love stands up for what is true. All right. So I really just wanted to empower and inspire and encourage each and every one of you. We become triggered, and they're counting on us being triggered. You don't understand that even with these social medias, they've been assessing how we respond to things for the past 10, 12 years. They assess how we respond to false fags, how we respond to things around black people. They have determined how we respond. We gotta respond differently. They can't control what's going on in here. There's no tracker for what's going on in here. But if they can control through what they feed your mind what's going on in here, then they know that at the end of the day, you're gonna implode on yourself. You have to move in silence. You have to move in darkness, and you have to trust in the power of what takes place in the dark. Everything that they're doing takes place in the dark. You walk around London, you don't realize the sigils that you're walking through. You don't understand the sorcery and the magic that you're walking within through these symbols and things like that. But you'll sit there and say, oh no, I don't believe in this and I don't believe in that. It's governing you. Belief has got nothing to do with whether something is real or not. Don't you understand that? It matters not whether you believe in it. It's still there. Right? But just like a child who can be afraid of something that's invisible and they've never seen it before. So can that happen to us? So you've got to be in control of your mind, people. You've got to be in control of your heart. You've got to be in control of your feet. You've got to connect with the spirit, in whatever way it finds you, because there is something within you that is more powerful than everything you see out here. Tap into that. Tap into that. Every time you see something happening in this world that pains you, that triggers you, go within. Soothe and comfort that wound within yourself first. And then you will see how to comfort the wound, how to dispel the wound from the collective conscious and from the experience outside of ourselves. We must relieve the trauma from in here first, so then we cannot be triggered. You must clear out all enemies within. Clear out all enemies within, so that you will not be triggered. And you have to learn to seek wisdom in the darkness. You cannot know what's going to happen in this reality if it's only 5% of what you can see. It means you have to go into the darkness to see the whole picture. So you need to start practicing that. Do not lose your faith in the spirit. Do not lose your faith in your power. You can change your reality just by reframing the way that you see the situation. Do not allow this to reiterate a falseness that is our only destiny, that there is nothing that we can do to protect ourselves, that there is nothing that nothing's saving us or protecting us. That's rubbish. Rebuke that from your mind and allow yourself instead, ask your source to show you who you really are. We need to release all fear. One of the things that my spirit was telling me in my song yesterday is that we fear death, but death is everywhere. So what is there left to fear now? And we know that death is just a transition. I would rather die for something good, and knowing that my life was used, my light was used in the right way to empower and inspire people, than to be somebody that's sitting here living and keeping my mouth silent and only thinking about myself. What kind of a life would that be? You know, we're here for a purpose. We're here for a reason. And so tap into your higher self. Tap into that powerful part of you. Whatever religious system that you have, use it, utilize it. And if it's not serving you to give you that strength that you need, if it's not serving you to inform you, if it's not serving you to empower you, then you need to go deeper. Maybe it's not within that religion. Maybe it's not there, but it's inside you. It's ingrained within you. Please connect. Please connect. Please connect. Please, I want to cry. Please. And this energy is not coming from fear. It's coming from power. It's coming from love. It's coming from truth. You know, because as I said, it's going to take each one of us to do something different. It's going to take each one of us to do something different. And move from a place of belief to the place of knowing that there is nothing outside of you more powerful than the force inside of you, and everything about you, your purpose, your destiny, is by divine design. We are the warriors that we are looking for, and it's only when we have had enough, only when we've had enough will we be willing to change and be a part of the change. But I, for one, am no longer standing by. I'm no longer standing by, and I'm choosing to recreate that reality in my mind. Every time I see an image of a brother or sister of mine being slain, I'm going to reframe it and ask myself, what would I do if I was there? What would I do? And what would I do if all of us decided to say, well, no, we're standing against it? We don't have to fight. We don't even have to fight. We have to fight outside. We fight within. We fight with our love. We fight with our voice. We fight with our truth. But we cannot be silent. We cannot be silent. Let our voices be heard. So I remind you again, the 4th of the 6th is the 9/9 of Brother George Floyd. I am encouraging, asking, igniting the passion within you to utilize that day to send his spirit to where it needs to go, to exalt him, and not only him, exalt them. Exalt them. I will be doing some kind of thing. I'm trying to organize it. I'll keep you posted, but this is what you can do. You can just light a candle, have some water. Look, the ancestors are fully present. The bubbles in this water. And it's the ancestral mothers that are calling. I don't play. You know, like, otherwise, what do I have? Just this reality? No. No, 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 no. We have to dig deeper. You have to know who you are. And you are not some human. You are not, you're more than what you think you are. So it's time for you to step into that greatness. It's time for you to step into your superpower. It's time to step into that being that you see yourself as when you're in your visualizations. That's you. Be it now. Bring it here now. So the 4th of the 6th, 9/9 for Brother George Floyd. I would ask you, encourage you in your own way to just hold sacred space for him, for us to exalt his energy and to exalt everybody who has transitioned at this time. There's a threat and attack on the minds of our communities. Even with this coronavirus, they are trying to make us own it as if it is ours. It is not ours. We rebuke that and let it go, because at the end of the day, we are the earth. So anything that comes into us which is not pure will be transformed into something pure. Even when you eat rubbish and you release it from your body, it turns into shit. That same shit can be used to grow things from the ground. So this is not us. Okay, this is not us. But you have to be willing to rebuke these things. And what it's telling you is that you need to build your system. You need to build your immune system. You need to build your mind. You need to feed this superpower body exactly what it needs to be the light. Right? So you fight from within. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. I'm just feeling the spirit in me. So the 4th of the 6th is when you're going to do your own 9/9 in your own way. I want you to release the mask. I want you to be in your prayer closet. And for me, that just means with your eyes closed. And call on those powers. No more fear. You are powerful. You are divine. Call on that energy. Right? Then the 6th of the 6th at 6 p.m. That's when we're going to do this soul activation and transmission, which is going to help us to clear the collective trauma and karma of the African people, the indigenous people, and any peoples and communities that have endured slavery. We are going to clear the post-traumatic stress syndrome from the mind and the trauma, and we are going to bring in more of our true soul consciousness and more of our powerful selves. All right, that's going to be on the 6th of the 6th at 6 o'clock. Family, I just want to thank you so much for being here and witnessing this energy. I was inspired to come and just speak. I hope that it's raised your vibration. I hope that it's reminded who you are. I hope that it's inspired and ignited something within you to look beyond this situation from a place of powerlessness and step into a place of divine power. You are a powerful being, and you chose to come here specifically at this time to activate something within you and be a part of this shift. It's not all love and light. It's not all airy fairy. We've got to be willing to stand up for something bigger than ourselves. If I can share a bit of my energy with you, I'm empowering you, you're empowering me. We're all doing it for each other. We're all holding sacred space for each other. Those of you who are spiritual healers and teachers and light workers, let's use our gifts together. One heart, one sound, one mind. And let's really see the wonders and the greatness that we can create and we will produce, and the change we will create in this world. I want to say give thanks and greetings to Rickland and Yisba and Patricia. Thank you for your comments. Lotus Anaya, Gilroy Didier, thank you for being with us. I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate you holding space. Thank you, Sister Danny, for sharing this post as well. As I said, if you want me to involve, you want to be involved in the 6/6 meditation and soul activation, for now, please just put in the comments 6/6, and I'm going to, once I finish this, I'm going to set up the page and everything, and then I'll put the link at the bottom of the page, and I'll also share it again on my page tomorrow. Please share it with other people, and just encourage people to do their own work. If you know that there's a group of people that you're connected to spiritually, then, share the energy with them. It's not about separation. It's not about saying any one person has got the best way. We just have to move, people. We just have to act, and we have to draw on the power from where it comes. I'm done. We're not supposed to be just sitting here doing oracle cards and tarots and helping people to get their man. That's not what we're here for. To live our God self. So utilize the energies and the tools that the Most High gave us to uplift our people. Greetings, George Terry. Thank you. Says the greatest gift you can give another is your own self-transformation. I'm gifting you guys with my self-transformation today. And it's not easy. You got to really see yourself. You got to really be honest about who you are and where you're at, and to know when you're not stepping up to par. And all you need to do in that moment is say, you know what? What do I need to do to change? What do I need to do to be who I need to be? What am I willing to do to be who I am? George Terry says, awesome, goddess. I think when we give up believing what the world tells us we are, we can begin to find our truth within, as you say. We struggle to hold on and struggle to let go. That's why we're so easily distracted and react with mainstream media, propaganda, programming, instead of knowing you are the powerful change you wish to see in the world. It's beautiful. But also what my spirit says to me is that if this didn't happen, we wouldn't be acting. We wouldn't be coming together now and setting this date so we can use that energy to clear that from our collective consciousness. Because we have the power to do that. We do. We don't have to have this discourse continuously running in our reality. So I'm thankful that revelation has come from this, because it's another aspect of our power. It's another opportunity for us to see that we are co-creators in this reality, you know, and so that we can do what we need to do to be a part of the change. All right. Yes. There's loads of comments from everybody here. I just want to say thank you to everybody. And I want to say thank you to Danny for for sending out her antennas to me. But yeah, thank you to everybody. Continue to be inspired, continue to be motivated. If I can help in any way, please do send me a message and reach out. But this is the time. There is no more test runs, people. And, you know, you can choose to run away from this. You can choose to see yourself as living in a bubble on top of this, and this is not touching you. That's great. But I know I'm part of being the change. And even if it's to raise the vibration of this experience to that which it really needs to be. So I send you much love of the highest vibration. And from me and the ancestors, I ask for peace of mind, peace of body, peace of spirit, peace of soul for each and every one of you. For anybody who has felt traumatized, for anyone who this is bringing up stuff for, I thank this experience for doing that for you, because anything that's coming up right now is being released so that you can be your most divine self. You came here to be great. Don't let anything stop you from being great. And in this time of awakening, seek to go within, because that's where the truth lives, and that's where it lies, and all battles will be fought. So I send you much love of the highest vibration. Mwah, 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 to you all. Much love.